Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank and Wealth Management. Today, I'm at Merion Golf Club in Ardmore, the site of this year's U.S. Open. It'll be the 5th time the Open's been held here at Merion, and already preparations are well underway. Today, we go back a couple years in a conversation I had right here adjacent to the 18th green at Merion with a Merion member and a legendary broadcaster, Jack Whitaker. Because back in 1950, the Open here at Merion really was sort of a turning point for Jack's career. And we'll also talk about his experience at Augusta and the Masters. Jack was one of 2 announcers that the folks at Augusta asked to be removed for the broadcast, and he'll tell us why. Plus, it is Masters Week, and that means our teed-off panel will have their predictions on what's going to happen. It's all coming up next here on Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank and Wealth Management. Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank. Susquehanna Bank, doing what counts. By PlayACGolf.com. Visit PlayACGolf.com to plan your Atlantic City golf getaway, where the play continues well into the night. By Club Champion. Better fit, lower scores. Visit their Bala-Cynwyd location. By Temple Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, now located in Oaks, Pennsylvania. Call 800-TEMPLE-MED. And by the Philadelphia Section PGA, experts in the game and business of golf.
Early mornings, late nights, and way too many takeout dinners. Running a business takes energy, determination, and sacrifice. And whether you're a startup, well-established, or somewhere in between, the people of Susquehanna Bank have the knowledge to help you succeed. From cash management solutions to the benefits of local loan decisions, we help keep your business moving ahead. Susquehanna Bank, doing what counts for businesses like yours. Member FDIC.
Nobody designed this golf course. Nobody with a pencil and $2 million.
Welcome back to Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank and Wealth Management. We are here at Merion, and in just a few weeks, Merion East will host the U.S. Open for a 5th time. And we're also going to go back a couple years in a conversation I had with Jack Whitaker. Jack is a native Philadelphian, graduate of St. Joe's University, and he began his career in radio, but eventually moved over to television. And as he shared with me right here at Merion, one of the reasons why was that U.S. Open in 1950, right here at Merion East.
Part in your life, and here we are sitting at Merion. I guess you can go back to the 1950 U.S. Open when on this fairway right behind us, Ben Hogan hit that memorable shot to get into a playoff, and eventually he won the U.S. Open.
Yeah, he hit it with a 1 iron. Our players are hitting with 5 irons now. So. That was a very turning point in my career. I was living at the YMCA in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And that Saturday afternoon, when they played the 36 holes in those days,
right,
was a beautiful day like this. And I said, what am I doing here? I should be there. I'm looking at television. I should be at Merion doing the U.S. Open.
And how old were you at the time?
I was about 30,
okay.
31 then. So Monday morning I quit. Came back to Philadelphia and then got into television. But it was here at Merion watching that on a little TV set in the lobby of the YMCA in Allentown.
And eventually, as I said, you were in the 60s, the main anchor on the 18th hour for all the CBS golf telecasts. What was it like, Jack? As I said, 1950, you said you were inspired by Hogan. Suddenly now, you're the voice of golf on a major network covering all the big events.
Well, it was a dream come true, you know. It was, doing golf is really... We shouldn't be paid for it. We should pay it in. I mean, what a way to kill a winter. I mean, we'd start in California and do the Crosby, then was called the Crosby, and go down to the LA Open, and then to San Diego, and then to Phoenix. Then you'd ship to Florida, then come up and do the Masters, and then you get to New York, and it was spring.
Right.
Wonderful way to kill a winter.
Absolutely. Can't beat it. Here at Merion, we mentioned Hogan, but then later on, about 20 years later, just a few paces from where we are over on the first tee, there was that famous Monday playoff.
Right here.
Right here.
Right in front of the right across the green there.
Right, and it was Lee Trevino and Jack Nicklaus,
Yep.
and Trevino sort of, I guess, break the tension pulled out the rubber snake out of his bag and threw it across at Jack, and Jack didn't know what was going on.
Jumped, yeah, right out of his skin almost.
I know you told me you weren't here that specific
No,
day, but you had been here earlier.
I had been down on that Friday, and I was walking out with, we were down about the second tee, I guess, Dan Jenkins and Jim Murray, the sports writer from L.A.
The L.A. Times, sure.
And Jim Murray had just filed a story about what a tiny, municipal-looking, terrible golf course Merion was to hold a U.S. Open. And looking around, he'd been walking a couple of holes, and he said, "I think I'm in a lot of trouble." He said, "This is a damn good golf course." And he had to go back and rewrite an apology column the next day.
How about that? Yeah, he'd be getting, in this day and age, he'd be getting a lot of emails and texts.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
From irate,
Yeah.
maybe not Merion members, but certainly golf aficionados. In mid-60s around, there was an incident at Augusta, and I'd like your perspective on it now, all these years later, in which I think you described the crowd at the time or the mob, was it, coming up the 18th
Yeah,
fairway?
I said it was a mob scene. Yeah.
Okay. And
When
I guess Cliff
every
Roberts...
time you use a cliche, you get in trouble.
Is that? I'll have to write that down. But it upset some people at Augusta?
Yes, we were under a gun. That was a Monday playoff. And it was about 6:59:15. We're like 40 seconds away from Walter Cronkite.
Okay.
And you never messed with Walter Cronkite's news. And they're saying, "Hurry up, hurry up." And so in my haste to get off the air, I neglected to mention that there would be the awarding of the green jacket on the putting green.
Okay.
So I think that
So there was no Butler cabin ceremony, huh?
Oh, it was too late. I mean,
Right.
we were fighting not only Walter Cronkite, we were fighting darkness, because for some reason they started the players off too late.
Okay.
We didn't have any players the first 45 minutes we were on the air,
Okay.
because in those days we only covered from 15 in, and they hadn't come to 15 yet, and we're all tap dancing like crazy.
So you were basically taken off the telecast for future Masters. How did that sit with you?
Well, it was very crushing. I didn't know about it until the following March. And on some rainy night, we were in a taxi cab, and the sports director, CBS, Jack Dolph, said, "Incidentally, you're not on the Masters anymore."
Wow.
That's how I heard about it. And I was really kind of crushed. But then all of a sudden, there was a backlash in the papers. And I got some very nice press on it, so that made me feel a little better. Oh, but it hurt. Yeah, sure. It
Probably
hurt.
today, Jack, if it had happened, it'd be out on, what is it, Washington Avenue outside the main gate with signs saying, "Bring back Jack."
No,
What do you think?
I don't think so. But it was quite an upheaval. And when Gary McCord got thrown off, I wrote him a note. I said,
Did you?
"You have just taken me out of a very special place. I hate you." So we're the only two that have been thrown off.
That's a very special club, Jack Whitaker and Gary McCord. Later, you would get involved, or maybe simultaneously, but I guess it was later, with ABC and Shell's Wonderful World of Golf. And you were the host of that program, and actually people could still see some of those shows dating back literally decades, where two of the best players in the world would travel to some great golf facility.
And that was the original thing, which was a marvelous concept back in the late 50s, 60s, when we didn't see all of these places. Nobody had seen St. Andrews, and they did those on film.
Right.
And it took 2 days to do the original.
You do like 9 holes one day, 9
They
holes
would
the
do
second?
on film.
Right.
In our edition, the second edition, which started in 1993, we did the whole thing in 1 day with videotape.
Okay.
And so it was a marvelous experience for me. A good way to wind down my career. Had a lot of fun with it.
Saw a lot of great golf courses
Yes,
and other things
although
around the world.
See, that had changed a little. A lot of our places were done because people wanted to sell real estate. There were
Okay.
brand new courses with real estate development. Oh yes, come here, Shell's Wonderful World of Golf, terrific.
Right.
and which was good and fine. But the old places we went, St. Andrews and Baltusrol, and I was great. Wish we had done one here. We didn't.
Yeah, that'd be great. And maybe aside from the great golf, something, Jack, that you were known for throughout your career, the eloquent essays that you would deliver. And always at the end of the show, they would toss it to you after the presentation to the winner and the runner-up in those competitions. And you would, in 45 seconds to a minute, summarize what everybody had just seen for an hour, and nobody did it better.
Well, thank you, Harry. That was a real challenge, and it gave me more pleasure than anything else.
I'm sure you did it with one take.
Well, yes, you had to. It was live
virtually
television.
live television,
Live
right?
television.
Stay tuned, more coming up with Jack Whitaker here on Inside Golf from Merion. And when we come back, Jack recalls his career in Philadelphia.
At this moment, across the country, families are packing their bags for a getaway. And no matter where they end up, they'll all be home by dinner. Plan your own at playgolfamerica.com. From finding fun and affordable programs to finding advice from PGA and LPGA professionals, playgolfamerica.com has a way for you to get away. Visit today for details. playgolfamerica.com, your link to the game.
This is really a transformative time in the history of Temple Health.
The right people are all coming together at the same time.
Really outstanding physicians who are at the top of their field.
To develop the most effective cancer treatments anywhere in the country.
To educate the next generation of physicians.
To move things from what we do in science.
To bring that science to the care of patients.
In the future, it's limitless.
Welcome back to Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank and Wealth Management. We continue now with our conversation with Jack Whitaker. Jack's career, of course, was seen by millions around the world through network television. But his TV career actually began in his hometown of Philadelphia.
You know, this is a golf show, Jack, but you have done so many things, as I just described, over the course of decades in broadcasting. And I know as a Philadelphian, it all began really in the Philadelphia area. Radio first, and then television at the old WCAU TV.
That's right, absolutely.
And you started, your love was really news, I understand, more than sports.
Yeah, Jack, I had been in radio upstate Pennsylvania, Allentown and Pottsville. And I knew that was not getting me anywhere. So I came down here and I went to see Jack Steck at WFIL. He gave me a couple of 1-minute commercials, and I was making more with 1-minute commercial than I was a week in the radio business. So I knew television might be the future.
Right.
Anyway, Jack sent me over to CAU, who were going on the air at 9 o'clock in the morning, unheard of at that time, and they started out with a 5-minute news show. And I was hired by Al Ringler, the news editor over there, to do the 5-minute, to write and deliver the 5-minute newscast.
Amazing. And then what about sports? How did you get involved in sports?
Well, the fellow was doing sports. He just resigned and went to do something else. And they came around to me and said, "Do you know anything about sports?" What do you say in a case like that?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Everything you need to know, right?
Well, I thought I did. I was pretty healthy about baseball and football and stuff like that. Of course, I didn't know nearly enough at the time, but that's how it happened. And I moved into doing the sports at CAU.
And a lot of people probably don't realize this, Jack, but in those days, the anchorman was John Facenda. A guy by the name of Ed McMahon was also on the station at the time, and there was Jack Whitaker. 3 of the biggest names in the industry, let alone in Philadelphia.
Well, I can remember when they moved, I did the 6 o'clock sports. And they said, "We're moving you to 11 o'clock. And I went, "What? Who is going to watch television at 11 o'clock at night?" So that turned out to be a marvelous thing. For 12 years there, we had a great run.
Jack Whitaker from Merion. It doesn't get any better.
And now it's time for our countdown to the U.S. Open at Merion. Right behind me there in the corner is the Pro Shop at Merion. And here to tell us about his preparations for that big week in June, head golf professional Scott Nye. Preparations for this year's U.S. Open have been underway at Merion for several years, both on and off the course. Off the course, one spot that's geared up for Open Week is the Pro Shop, where Merion's head professional Scott Nye has been selling Open-related merchandise for a few years.
We've had it on the floor for 3 years. We started Christmas time 3 years ago, and it's been just a build-up as we've gone along. This year was phenomenal.
Everything from shirts to sweaters, golf balls to head covers. Anything that has the Merion U.S. Open logo on it has become a hot item.
You know, obviously hats and men's golf shirts are always going to be great, but we've tried to supplement that with a lot of different items, you know, putter head covers and things like that, artwork. People are looking for something special to, you know, say they've been to Merion.
Things have changed since the last time Merion hosted the Open. That was back in 1981. Back then, the head pro at the time, Bill Kittleman, was responsible for all merchandise sales. And he got some good advice on how he could move items a little better.
You know, a funny story on that. Bill Kittleman, professional emeritus here at Merion, was talked into taking credit cards by Bob Ross at Baltusrol. In 1980, it was the first year that credit cards were taken at a U.S. Open championship. And Bob called down to Bill and said, boy, you need to have that credit card machine ready to go. And
did he take his advice?
He did take his advice, and I'm sure he's glad he did.
I'm sure his sales probably tripled or more than that based on that advice.
The USGA gets involved in the sale of merchandise and memorabilia and mementos from the Open every year. And this year, there'll be actually a small department store erected in the main parking lot here at Merion East. And the USGA also gets involved in scheduling practice rounds for competitors. But Scott Nye last year actually had two visitors, two prominent names who wanted to take a first-hand look at Merion. David Toms and the winner of the Open in 2010, Graham McDowell.
It's very interesting to get their comments, and David Toms in particular was interesting because he really could see right away what options the USGA had in terms of course setup. It was fascinating to listen to him as a veteran player, having played in several U.S. Opens. It's just amazing how quickly he picked up on what he thought they would do with the course setup here.
One thing that Merion witnessed last year was a big increase in the amount of guest play. I mean, it's not every day that somebody gets the chance to play at a U.S. Open course.
I think there's so much excitement because it's been 32 years since we last hosted the Open. I think that our members realize that people really want to come in and play Merion. They enjoy that anyway, and now with the Open so close, it was that much more of a treat for them to bring a guest in. And some of them got closed out because of the demand, which is always a difficult thing, but I think most people here at the club realized, hey, this is something really special. We've got to go along with this, and we've got to be team players and make it work.
This has been Countdown to the 2013 U.S. Open in Merion, presented by Temple Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, now located in Oaks, Pennsylvania.
It's a great time to be at Temple Health.
We have been attracting people who are at the top of their field.
I came to Temple to build a robotic center of excellence that is recognized on an international level.
To turn temple cardiothoracic surgery into one of the best programs in the country.
To educate the next generation of physicians.
To cement a new area of research.
Right now, Temple is the most exciting place to be in healthcare.
Hi everyone, Ron Jaworski here. I just want to let you in on a little secret. Here, just outside of Atlantic City, you'll find some of the top-rated golf courses in the world. Imagine playing these championship courses during the day, then playing your hand at something else at night. Casinos, bars, clubs, shows. Atlantic City has something for all the ways you like to play. So pack your bags for the ultimate golf getaway. Do AC and play AC Golf. AC Golf, where the play continues well into the night.
Guests of Teed Off receive gift certificates to any of the 8 restaurants at Valley Forge Casino at King of Prussia. And now it's time for Teed Off, brought to you by Yingling, America's oldest brewery.
Masters is always right there. We all know the course. We all know
Welcome
the
back,
shot.
Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank, and Wealth Management continues with our Teed Off segment. And today we're back at the beautiful Valley Forge Casino Resort. It's the official partner of the Philadelphia PGA, right in King of Prussia. And right now we're at the Valley Tavern, which is one of the 8 fantastic restaurants here at Valley Forge Casino Resort. Our panel today includes Harry Mays. You know him from 97.5 The Fanatic every morning, 10 to noon. Also Joe Logan, myphillygolf.com, and author, PGA professional, and just a bon vivant type of guy. Did I pronounce that right? Bob
Very
Shepard.
It's a Renaissance man.
Renaissance man. Absolutely. He's our historian. He's our archivist. Bob, he's a walking encyclopedia. Guys, it's Masters Week. You know, I don't know why we're all not down in Augusta. We're sitting here in the beautiful Valley Forge Casino Resort. But you know what, Harry? For me, this really is the kickoff for the golf season. I know it began back in January in your favorite spot, Hawaii. But for me, the season begins with that opening shot on Thursday on the first hole at Augusta. How about you?
Well, I love starting to watch it in the California swing, but I agree, the real golf season, I think, especially for us here in the Northeast, because it's so darn cold until about early April, starts with the Masters. I mean, there's no better way to get it started. They say that NASCAR begins with their Super Bowl, with the Daytona 500. So does the PGA Tour, in my mind, with the Masters.
Shep, do you agree with that, or are you more of a, no, I'm a calendar guy, you know, I go with the first tournament?
No, you got to go with it. This is really the opener. This is as close as you can get. This is the Kentucky Derby of golf. This is it. This is where it all starts. And I think you can see the build-up to it, too. For a couple weeks before this and a couple weeks after, you're going to see the guys starting to knuckle in the dirt. They're going to start working a little bit harder. And
you could say that so many guys just gear their game. And that's been done really, not just today.
No.
I mean, Hogan, back in the day, used to go to where Seminole, because the greens there were the closest thing that he could practice on to
Yancey
the greens at
made
Augusta.
models at his house of the greens.
Oh, he
remember?
did?
Yeah, Bert Yancey. Yeah, he was so intense.
Bert Yancey,
Yeah.
that's a Philadelphia area
Philadelphia
guy, right?
name, yeah.
Never won, but
right.
came close a couple times. But what's special about this week for you?
Everything. I love what is unique about the Masters is that everyone who watches it at home on TV, you know the course, you've seen it, because the U.S. Open moves around, the British Open moves around, the PGA moves around. The Masters is always right there. We all know the course, we all know the shots, we all know what's at stake, and what more need you say?
Right. Harry, you know, over the years, they've made a lot of changes year to year at Augusta, and they do it, you know, in the dead of winter when the place is shut down. Maybe actually, it's not shut down in the dead of winter. They do it in the summer. Yeah, they reverse the seasons down there, and you know they'll just plant trees. And if you go down there one year to the next, you'd never remember. But you know, a lot of people say, well, they did it to Tiger-proof the golf course. Now, Tiger hasn't won there in years, okay? But there are other reasons why they do it. It's not just Tiger Woods. It's the way the game has evolved. Do you have a problem with that? I mean, would you rather see them, you know, go to the traditional layout of the golf course, or are you okay with them maybe lengthening, pushing back some tee boxes and adding some trees here and there?
Well, unless you're going to use a specific ball, only allow the players to play, you know, maybe back in the 1990 era golf ball, I think you have to do it. I really do. I don't want to see 24 under win the Masters. That's just me.
Right. Yeah. Do you have a favorite memory, Joe, from covering it and being there and being at Augusta this time of the year?
Yeah, well, I love all of them. I mean, I loved playing the course. I got to play it a couple times on media days, the Monday after. I love. There's never a bad Masters. The one year, the one bad memory I had was when it rained every day, and the course, it started to smell bad, and the course started to run. It looked like the mascara on an old movie star lady, the mascara running. That's what the course looked like. And you'd walk outside, and it smelled so bad, I'd go back in the media center because I couldn't stand to walk the course. But it's such a great, I mean, you know, superintendents hate the Masters because the course is so green, so
Yeah,
beautiful, and their members want to know, why can't our course look like that?
Exactly.
And the answer, of course, it is, if you quintuple my budget and give me the staff and the mowers they got, I can make it look like that, but not for the money you're paying me.
You know, Bob, the one thing that struck me about Augusta the first time and every time I've been back is the concession lines, how you talk about slow play. There's no slow play in those concession lines.
Not at all.
They have that system down to a T. In the where you want to go and buy, a shirt or a hat, they have several locations. One big store, and it's as big as any department store, but they also have the smaller ones, and the lines move, and the prices are as
Realistic.
competitive
Reasonable.
as you could be anywhere, right?
Cream cheese and olive sandwiches. They have things
The
that
pimento.
are unique, or pimento, absolutely, just unique to the situation and can't be avoided. You're going to have to. It's like haggis in Scotland. You're going to have to try it. Just to say you have been there and not had that.
And there's not one dandelion on that golf course.
No.
Huh?
Not at all.
It's
Not at all.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
It
Quite
is
the place. Yeah. It's got the Jones.
It's
spirit.
sort of like the Disney World of
there
golf,
you go.
isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Taj Mahal.
Taj Mahal? Okay. Howard, do you want to throw
Or
in a
Valley
description?
Casino.
Or the Valley Forge Casino Resort.
Right, there you go.
That's where we are. This has been Teed Off. Inside Golf continues with more in just a moment. The Valley Forge Casino Resort is the region's only full amenity gaming resort, and it's only seconds from the Pennsylvania Turnpike at King of Prussia. It features 600 slots, 50 table games, plus 8 restaurants designed to meet all of your dining needs. So put the beautiful Valley Forge Casino Resort on your destination list.
In a crowd of light beers, how long does it take to find the Yingling Light Lager? About that long. 99 calories, 100% authentic lager. Yingling Light Lager. Rethink your light beer.
Defining a target, realizing a dream. Susquehanna Bank can help you get your plans off the ground. Whether you're sending kids to college or doing something special for yourself. Susquehanna's financial advisors are worth talking to. We can help you find the smartest way to borrow money and save money in the process. Susquehanna Bank, doing what counts for dreamers like you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
That's going to do it for this week's edition of Inside Golf. Our thanks again to Jack Whitaker and the folks here at Merion East. Remember, every week leading up to the U.S. Open in June, I'll have a special report getting ready for the 2013 U.S. Open. I'm Harry Donahue, and remember, no matter how bad it's going for you out there, don't pick up. See you next time on Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank and Wealth Management.
Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank. Susquehanna Bank, doing what counts. By PlayACGolf.com. Visit PlayACGolf.com to plan your Atlantic City golf getaway, where the play continues well into the night. By Club Champion. Better fit, lower scores. Visit their Bala-Cynwyd location. By Temple Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, now located in Oaks, Pennsylvania. Call 800-TEMPLE-MED. And by the Philadelphia Section PGA, experts in the game and business of golf.